All right, everyone, we truly are in the strangest timeline right now in Raid because we could have the best event and the worst event in the entire history of the game both running at the same time right now. And I know that sounds crazy here. Let me explain exactly what I mean by this. And let's start off here with the event that has to do with shards and summons. And I would even argue right now, even though there is a summoning event going, it's actually probably worse to summon your shards right now than if we didn't have the event. And that means that right now, if you summon, it's actually a nerf to the outcome of your shards and your summons. And this is the first time that I think that they've done something like this with one of their summoning events, but it makes a little bit of sense through Plarium logic anyway, and I'm going to explain all the details of this and what you guys might want to actually do in the future in case Plarium decides to, run this situation again. So if you go to the actual list of champions here available in this event, very first thing that I will say here, and I want to also put out if there are any YouTubers or just other people that you know who are saying that this is a great summon event, great champions, pull, I have to disagree. I have to strongly disagree, actually. These champions on this summoning event are not good. There's a couple of okay, decent champions, but overall, out of this full list of 8, it's not good. And it's probably the worst list of 8 champions that they've actually put into one of these summoning events, which is a little bit surprising considering the number of these summoning events that they have run. We've seen now that they really like to pump out these 10x events, but generally they put in a reasonable list. Now, some of them are obviously better than others. Some of them still do have some bad champions, but when you compare all the other 10x events we've gotten to this list in specific, like this one has by far got to be the worst one that we've gotten. Now, why is that? How have they managed to get so many 10x events right and then all of a sudden put this one out, which just really stands out compared to the other ones? And there's actually another event going at the same time, that is the champion chase. But we've had champion chases before as well, and we've still had decent summoning events running at the same time. Well, there's another very important component, and that is the reward for the champion chase, the Steadfast Marshal. And this is a required champion for the fusion, and we're actually getting closer and closer now to the end of the cantrip fusion. And if you don't have Steadfast Marshal, if you've missed your opportunity in order to get Basher all on his own, you have to end up going for that champion chase to get this champion to end up completing the fusion. And now that we're so late into the fusion, what would happen is you would find yourself in that extremely awkward situation. Very unfortunate. I know people have been there before. I talk to people, and it really hurts when you've gone this far into the fusion. You've gotten so many champions. You put in so many resources. Now you're so unbelievably close. However, if you can't end up getting that last champion, it essentially all goes to waste. And it's even worse because the other champions, in order for this fusion here, they're not really that great. So you quite literally end up with a bunch of useless champions that you just spent a ton of resources on. You might be able to squeak out some use out of some of these, but it doesn't come anywhere close to the satisfaction of actually completing the fusion. So Plarium knows that people are going to get that Steadfast Marshal if they've been going for the fusion, and they know that that means that they're going to get that 1,550 points regardless. Now, I want to offer you guys a suggestion here, and I will say that if it's too late for you already for this fusion because you've already done your summons, please carry the suggestion with you in the future, because I can promise you with 100% certainty that Plarium will use this strategy again in a future fusion, and that has to do with how you can actually get points for the champion chase. Don't find yourself in this awkward situation where you now have to end up summoning shards on a horrible summon event, where the result of the shards is actually arguably worse than if you were to summon without any event going at all. That's why I say, this summon event, in a weird way, it really is a nerf to shards and a nerf to summons. That's how bad this list of champions actually is. Don't find yourself in this situation if you can. This is why it's not a bad idea to get everything prepared for the fusion. And if this is one of the last champions that you actually need, what you can do now is you can actually end up fusing for the epics to at least give yourself some of the points for this champion chase, so that you don't have to do as many awkward summons on this 10x event, which is arguably a nerf, right? So it's not going to get you the full 1500, but if you actually take a look here and you go to, is it the info here? I think this tells you all you need to know. Yes, so you can actually see that you are going to get points, not just from summons, but you get points no matter how you actually get the champions. So this includes fusions. If you fuse an epic, you're going to get 250 points. If you could fuse 3 out of those 4 epics, that's 750 points. If you can only do 1 or 2, that's still 250 to 500 points to help you complete this fusion. That means that you could summon less shards with the bad 10x event and, help you get this last champion easier. Another really big suggestion that I make is have a backlog of mystery shards for the future. You do not need to go anywhere close to as crazy as I have gone. But, I would definitely try to, over the course of the next couple of months, try to save anywhere between, 1,000 to 2,000, 3,000 if you can. But, over 1,000, I would say, is a very, very good start. And that's, again, going to allow you to get those points for these events without having to summon shards. I really dislike this 10x event. I dislike the fact that Plarium put it out there knowing that this is actually probably a nerf to shards anyway, but they know that people are going to summon, so, it's just really an unsatisfactory feeling, which you should absolutely not have, especially when it comes to something exciting like summoning your shards. So that's some tips and info I wanted to give you guys. I apologize. I know I could have put this video out a little bit earlier, but I ran into an unexpected problem today where I had to not only delay the video, but I wasn't able to really play at all today. So, I apologize for that. If you guys can't use this info for this fusion, please, and I tell you once again, Plarium will definitely do this in the future, so use this information for the future fusion as well. Now let's go to the other side of the scale here, and I feel like this kind of video would be a bit unfair if I left it off without talking about the good news, and that's why I said at the start that we are in a very strange timeline where we have what could be the worst event running, that 10x event, and also the best event running, both at the same time, and that's this champion training that you see here at the very top. And what this is it's not a regular champion training like this one right here, 30,000 points. They've actually gone back to that model of essentially like an added daily login, where it's technically a champion training, but it caps out at 2 points per day. So you could just quite simply level up a 1-star level 1 champion 2 times to get your daily maximum points. Everybody should have absolutely no problem getting their daily points for this, because it's just supposed to function as a counter. And what you actually end up getting through this is these new champion fragments. Now, this was, of course, a new feature with the update, and if you go to fragment summon, you can see here that there are going to be more of these in the future, of course, and when you get the 100 fragments, you're going to be able to summon the champion for those designated fragments. Now, importantly, though, is fragments are tied directly with the champion. So if you do not get the full 100 fragments, it's not like you'll be able to turn the 90, 95 fragments that you have, or however many you get, into some other kind. You're just quite simply not going to be able to do anything with them until Plarium comes out with another way to get Horden fragments. So the good news is, though, and I'm actually quite surprised, I will give Plarium for this, because what they could have done is given you the ability to get something like 95 of the fragments from the actual event, but then required you to do something else like summon shards or pay real money for the last 5. And even though, technically you got 95% of them for free, because you can't end up completing it until you get the full 100, it kind of defeats the whole purpose. But they didn't do that. They actually allow you to get the full 100 fragments for Horden through this event. So, credit where credit is due. I will definitely give them props for that, especially considering they didn't make this a difficult event. It's essentially just, one tiny step above a regular daily login. You got to get those 2 points. And they even threw in some additional energy, some gems, an ancient shard, and an epic skill tome. So now Horden himself, he's not absolutely terrible, but he's not absolutely great either. He's probably a bit outdated at this point. There's been a lot of controversy with Horden, actually, so I'm a little bit surprised that they kind of picked him as, not surprised, I'm not surprised that they picked him as the free champion, considering that, many months ago, those of you guys who've been playing the game for a while know that they originally tried to sell Horden straight up in the cash out for $50. There was a lot of outrage with that, so it's nice to see them giving people a way to actually get him for free. Now, I will say, as a warning, though, don't get used to this, is there is very well a possibility that sometime in the future, probably soon, they're going to release more champions with these champion fragments. We've already seen screenshots that have other champions in the actual champion list here. So, you know, this is definitely going to be coming. It's just a matter of when. And they're not going to be as generous with the future champions as they are with Horden. So, you know, just be careful. Take the free stuff. I'm happy. And thank you, Plarium, of course. But, you know, don't get too used to it, if that makes sense. So, very strange times. I wanted to go over this, and let me know what you guys think about all the insanity going on in game. We're wrapping up the fusion as well. So with that being said, though, that's going to be it for the video. I hope that you guys enjoyed, and if you did and you want more videos like this in the future, consider subscribing to the channel. Feel free to leave a quick like as well. It means more than you can imagine, and more Raid Shadow Legends videos should be popping up on the screen right about now. Feel free to check them out, but if not, until next time, take care, everyone, and this is Salt of the Salty Guild, signing out.